watch. It's quite shocking. When you look at that, Mike, as a former law enforcement agent, what do you see, Mike?
Frankly, I see an agent defending himself. You know, someone just commented that they use deadly force quickly. Well, if there was an opportunity to get out of the way or to otherwise prevent injury, the agent would have done it. I don't think, watching that video, that there was enough time to do anything except do what he did. And, you know, Monday morning quarterbacking is easy. It's easy when you're sitting in a room and you're sipping coffee and making a decision. But when your life is on the line and you have 1 second to react or possibly die or wind up seriously injured, people will tend to err on the side of taking the appropriate action.
Okay, I hear you, Mike, but I think there are many people, Mike, and even the New York Times today, they did kind of a slow analysis, and you can see Renee's car kind of turning around. I mean, at any level, is it ever okay to shoot someone in the face? Could they not have shot the tire?
No, well, shooting the tire wouldn't have stopped the vehicle. And again, everyone's expecting trick shots. You know, why didn't the cop shoot the gun out of the guy's hand? I hear that all the time. What we're trained to do is shoot center mass. That's the most likely place to hit the person. Shooting the tire wouldn't have stopped the car, and there's no time to start looking for the tire in that situation. Looking at the video, everything happened very, very rapidly. He fired directly at the person who was apparently trying to hurt him or kill him. Again, we can Monday morning quarterback this.
I hear
but
you,
a vehicle is a lethal weapon. And I want to make a point. It's interesting that we hear so much about gun control, but in the United States, we're giving illegal aliens driver's licenses, and motor vehicles are involved in almost as many fatal incidents as are firearms. Over 40,000 in both categories. Cars can be lethal weapons.
Mike.
In this case, I believe it was being used as one.
Okay, I hear you, and I respect your view, Mike. But I suppose America seems so divided on so many issues like this, like ours. There are many people here in Ireland, Mike, watching you tonight, with respect, who cannot believe you are saying this, because they will look at that footage and they say, the very least he could do is wound the lady. I mean, surely, would you not think it was extreme to shoot her in the face?
How is he going to wound her? She's sitting behind the wheel of a vehicle. All that's exposed to him and his firearm is her face. Think about that. She wasn't in the street. She was behind the wheel of a vehicle being driven at him. How in the world could you shoot her in any place other than the face? Because that's all that was exposed. Look, this situation wasn't something that happened spontaneously. We've had politicians and the journalists, frankly. And by the way, I'm a registered Democrat. I've always considered myself a liberal. But immigration law enforcement is national security. You know, I provided testimony to the 9/11 Commission, and I was called before 16 or 17 congressional hearings by both Democrats and Republicans. This shouldn't be a left-right issue, but the politicians have turned it into a left-right issue. Immigration law enforcement is about protecting public health, public safety, national security, and the jobs and wages of Americans.
But it's not about...
When you interfere with law enforcement, you're endangering public safety and national security.
But it's not about, Mike, people would say, assassinating 37-year-old women in broad daylight.
This wasn't an assassination. That's totally unfair. And that kind of inflammatory language will lead to more violence by more people who think what they're doing is the right thing, and it's not. That's the point. The inflammatory language and reckless language of the politicians. You know, my degree was in communications, arts, and sciences, and I think that as a journalist, you will agree with me, words have
Mike.
impact. And
Listen,
those terms are incendiary.
Okay, and Mike, we do respect you taking the time to speak to us tonight in Ireland. Thank you for joining us very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.